Here we go.
I don't have a can. Welcome to We Need Wrestling.
You should have told me.
Oh, do you have a can?
Yeah.
Did you just pop it?
Uh-huh.
It doesn't sound very good over Skype.
No. Oh boy, this is a choice.
Oh no, what is it? I can't see your face.
Ghost Bubblicious Strawberry Splash.
Oh yeah, I've had it. It tastes exactly like the gum.
It tastes like Big League Chew.
Yeah. In drink form.
Oh, I don't know if I'm going to finish that.
Well.
Oh, it tastes powdery.
Okay. You hit an energy drink at 6:42 in the PM. You all right?
Brother, I was sleeping before.
Yeah?
I was taking a nap.
What are you doing, burning the midnight oil?
No, I'm a big nap guy.
Okay, I like it. Call them siestas. It sounds more legit.
No, it's a nap, damn it.
You're a nap man. That's true.
Yo, the older I get, the more I enjoy my naps.
Yeah.
I'm finding that out.
That's good. You're an old man who's taking naps. You're practically in a retirement home already.
Oh, I'm not. I ain't dead yet, brother.
All right, welcome to We Need Wrestling, everybody. I'm DJ. The man across town via electronics on his microphone is Brett.
Hey.
We're not together because Michelle is ill. So in the hopes of not getting Brett ill, for he does not have a license, we're separated.
Yeah, don't get me sick, please.
So we can't see. I'm not sick yet. She's been sick since about Sunday, maybe. First symptoms. It's strep with a possible sinus infection. It is not.
Yeah.
It is not COVID.
Yeah, no, not icky. Stay away.
Yeah. So So I've been sleeping on the couch, staying out of that bedroom. We've been as separated as possible so that I do not get sick. Because I told her that I don't know that my mental capacity can handle the torture that is strep throat. So
You can't handle some strep?
I hate strep throat, man. I used to get it twice a year. Right around this time when the seasons would change, I would always get strep. It's been a bunch of years now, but I hate it. I can't do it.
I mean, I hate any sort of sickness. I
Right.
just don't like being sick.
Yeah, a sore throat does me in. I cannot manage. I can't tough it out. I'm a whiny little baby when it comes to sore throats. So
Yeah, no thanks, brother.
yeah. Plus, it puts a hamper on my social life. It's just a big mess.
Your big old social life, huh?
Yep. But yeah. So, but we're good here. Otherwise, she's just toughing it out. She's being good. This is just an abundance of caution. That's
Sure.
all. So.
I agree. That's the smart move.
Right. But yeah. So how are you, pal? You okay?
Yeah, man.
Good down
Hanging
there?
out, chilling, enjoying my life. That's about it. Yeah, nothing interesting this week. I don't know. I didn't really do anything since I saw you last, so I don't know. Not much going on.
All right. Well, that's good sometimes, right?
I need a week like that every now and again.
Yeah, for sure. So actually, you know what? Before we get into the news, I just want to say that I last night was laying on the couch looking for something to watch to fall asleep to, and I put on that show, The Wrestlers.
Oh boy,
that Netflix documentary about Aloysius Snow.
Mm-hmm.
Which isn't about him, but I mean, it is kind of about him, I guess, but it's not. It's about the promotion that he runs and is 1/3 owner. of, I guess.
Yeah, OVW, right?
Yeah, OVW, right. But I guess he like took on, or somebody took on like some money men, like some sort of radio guy, like sports radio guy, and a guy who's running for like a politician. He's like running for mayor or something, or governor, and like they're the money people. Yeah, and they're losing lots of money, like hand over fist losing money.
But come on, man, the indies are hot right now.
And Al Snow's right. I got through like part of the first episode, and in that first episode alone, you can see how just sort of bitter Al Snow is about everything. And also how like they're the fourth biggest promotion in the country because they have TV.
Ugh.
But like,
what a crock.
And he's like, we go out to millions of homes every week.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Yep.
Oh my God. I'm still mad that Doug and I didn't eat pancakes with him at Perkins that one time, though.
Yes. You could have stuffed his face in some pancakes, but
I would have stuffed his face and Doug would have stuffed his ass.
That's right. They also did a thing where they talked about like all the legends that have come out of OVW and like did like a little clip show. So they showed like Moxley and Cena and Leviathan.
Like, did they leave out that's when they were the feeder system in the farm week for WWE?
No, they say that's
okay.
what they were. And then they talk about them cutting ties. But the interesting thing is, now I know what they meant, but they sort of play a little fast and loose with the Big Show coming out of OVW.
Oh, okay.
And they show clips, like he's listed on the list of people that like they start saying like came from OVW, and like Big Show was sent to OVW. But he wasn't like he wasn't trained there and like wasn't produced from there. He was just sent there to lose weight.
Yeah, man, that's a WCW power plant graduate right there.
Right. So they play a little fast and loose with that. And they highlight a couple of people. That Mr. Pectacular guy who was like an NWA guy is there.
I have no idea who that is.
You don't remember Mr. Pectacular? He used to come out with somebody, Mickey James, maybe.
No, not
I don't
ringing
remember.
a bell.
Maybe he was in Impact. I don't remember. But anyway, he now rides like a Segway in the ring. In the ring. Not to the ring also, but also in the ring. And then some guy named Cash Flow, who's been there forever. And then
okay. I remember this Mr. Spectacular guy. He was an Impact.
Oh, it was an Impact? Okay. I think he was an NWA guy too when they brought that back. But yes. So he's there, and Cash Flow, who's been in OVW forever, who does not look like a guy who should have the gimmick of Cash Flow because he's like a beer-bellied, like balding, long-haired white guy.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. And then like this Hollywood Haley J, who I guess got a tryout this week or something.
Yeah, I know who she is.
She stinks. She also talks about how in the first episode, so they show a fight between, I meant to write this down, I forget her name, but she posted the whole original story, her and Facade getting in a fight there and like getting kicked out of OVW. Was this Hollywood Haley J's that was involved, but they show her on the first season of the show, like in the first episode. The fight starts because this other female wrestler was like, she gets high before every match. I don't think that's professional. I'm not going to wrestle her if she's high and drunk. And she's like, I have a medical condition. I have to smoke weed before I wrestle.
Oh, I mean, hey, that's a good defense, I guess.
And I'm like, I don't think that's a thing. Like, I'm going to say that's not true.
Try using that defense though.
Right. And I guess this Haley J's mom is also a lady that's been in OVW forever. And like Al Snow kind of makes fun of her because she's like, she thinks she's got another run in her. And they show her, and she's like also the production lady, but you know, it's a mess. It's as much of a mess as you think it is. I'll probably keep watching it out of morbid curiosity, but it doesn't paint anybody in a good light. I don't know if that was the purpose.
Now,
this.
is it like, do they release it once a week, or is it all the episodes are out?
That's a good question that I didn't see. Netflix, Netflix kind of does them both, right? It goes back and forth.
I don't know. I don't have Netflix.
Yeah, Netflix.
I think I know like a couple people have been talking about it in the Discord, so I think that's out like the whole series probably.
Yeah, it looks like it is. It looks like it's everything. I don't know.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's got really good, episode titles. Like the first one obviously is Ohio Valley Wrestling. The second episode is Cheap Heat. The third The third is Faces and Heels. The fourth is Get Over.
Man, that real kayfabe them there.
The fifth is Mother. That seems weird.
Okay.
Oh, the Haley wants to work a death match against her mom. All right.
Cool.
6 is called About Face, and then 7 is the big one. So it's all leading up to a pay-per-view. They want to have a big, huge pay-per-view.
Yeah, where they got like 73 buys for it. I think
they're bleeding money. I believe they say $30,000 a month, but I don't remember if that's true.
My God,
they might have said $3,000 a month. Either way, they're bleeding money.
Good. And glad to see they're successful.
Yeah. Like
Indies are hot.
Indies are super hot, and it's just Al Snow giving advice, and like they have some clips of like who's Al Snow, and they show like a segment where he's backstage with Foley and The Rock, and like
they picked that,
and he tries to say something, and The Rock is like, "Shut up!" and he's like, "I don't even know who you are," and Al Snow's like, "You know who I am? I was here last week." And I was like, wow.
Oh, man.
And they show some ECW footage. I always kind of liked Al Snow. But, he's Al Snow. There's not much to
Al Snow.
He says his shoot name at one point too, which is funny. But
shoot name?
I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
It's not a funny name. It's just funny that he says like, I'm Al Snow, but my real name,
Is it like Terry Sun or something?
No, Alan Ray Sarvin.
Oh, that's boring.
Yeah. Oh, you're saying that like it would be like Robert Sunshine? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Yes.
Like Al Snow is really a stretch for him because his real name is Robert Sunshine.
Yes. Thank you, DJ. Thanks, pal.
That would be much funnier.
Nothing gets by you, brother.
There you go. I'm very quick. I got the reflexes of a cat. Or a mink. Have you seen the mink disaster in our area?
Yeah, dude. What was it, like 4,000 minks were let go in Montgomery County?
Absolutely.
Did they gather them?
I mean, I don't know. I don't think so.
Oh.
Yeah.
You don't mink so?
Jesus Christ. All right. Good night, everybody. That is not happening. You have the balls to make fun of me, sir.
Listen, man.
All right. Let's, now that I talk about the wrestler, let's talk about some news. There is some big news, coming out today.
Is.
The WWE made some cuts.
Yeah. They cut, a bunch of people. Do you have like a list? Because I don't.
Yeah. I got a seemingly tentative list here. It's updated a lot, but
what do we got?
Mustafa Ali,
the notables.
Mustafa Ali, probably the biggest name I think released. Probably the best wrestler released. Maybe no, that's not true.
Yeah, not true.
Not true. Emma, who I didn't even know was still employed there.
So Mustafa Ali, I guess you could say their name, then what do you think they'll do?
Okay.
Mustafa Ali, I could see going to AEW.
Yeah, I think he has probably the best chance. He's young, he can work, and he's been sort of fighting to get out of there anyway.
Yeah.
So, if not there, he'll end up in Impact for sure. Emma, who I didn't even know was still employed.
I didn't either, to be honest.
She'll go back to Impact, right? I mean, unless Tony Khan's desperate, which is a possibility.
She'll go back to Impact.
The heartbreaker for a lot of people, Rick Boogs. Boogamania cut short.
I wonder if Rick Boogs will be done with wrestling.
Yeah, probably. I don't know how he's a wrestler. I like the physique. I like the look of a Rick Boogs. But I don't know. Can Rick Boogs work? I don't know.
I could see Rick Boogs going to an Impact.
Yeah.
Or
yeah, that'll work.
Like MLW.
Yeah, for sure. Aaliyah, who I'm assuming hasn't been on TV in a long time, noted for getting her nose kicked off by Xia Li.
Listen, that's former women's tag team champion Aaliyah.
Oh,
put some respect on it.
Really? Who was she tag champs with?
I think it was Raquel Gonzalez.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
I may be completely wrong. But yeah, her I don't see going anywhere.
I don't think we'll see her anywhere. Elias?
No, he's done. He's like all walk with Jesus now, so I think he's done. Oh, is
he? Yeah, he's done. Okay.
Yeah.
Riddick Moss?
Well, knowing their track record, in January he'll be pulling down his pants and taking a crap on Go Shiozaki's chest while holding up the GHC title in Pro Wrestling Noah.
I like it. I kept reading his name today and thinking it was Riddick Bowe.
Dude, I wish it was Riddick Bowe.
Right?
Hell yeah.
Your favorite wrestler, Top Dollar.
I
hope he goes nowhere.
MLW with Enzo Amore.
I'm very worried that his pal Swerve is gonna extend a hand.
Well, he didn't last time.
That's true. That's
true. I think Swerve kind of learned a little bit. Like, hey, let's stop like saddling me with trash bags and let me do my own thing.
As far as this list goes, Cousin Tahuti is still safe.
Listen, the family's okay. Thank you for asking.
Of course.
We're doing all right. Cousin Tahuti, stay strong.
This would probably be, I'd say, the best wrestler released. Shelton Benjamin.
Yeah. So Shelton's
an old man.
I wouldn't be surprised to show up in AEW, not for long though.
It's a 6-month deal. Get some. I had said this, I think, in the Discord. There's some dream matches you could do with Shelty. He can still go. And I don't know anybody that would be upset at watching him wrestle Kenny Omega, or anybody else. I think Shelton can have some good matches. I don't see it being a full-time gig, but I can see him doing that if he wants. He always can go to Japan, Right? Yeah, and he also could probably potentially sign back as an agent if he felt necessary.
Oh, there's that too. You're right about that.
The biggest name though, Dolph Ziggler.
I thought you were gonna say Dana Brooke.
Yes, no, that's coming. Dolph Ziggler has been with that company since 2004.
Yeah, it's been like 20 years, man. The obvious thing is him to AEW to be with his crappy brother.
There's no way he does not show up. That the Hollywood hunks don't have a run together in AEW.
Oh, God.
If Ziggler was even moderately smart with his money, he's set for life.
Dude, I guarantee he's smart with his money.
So, I think he could do whatever he wants. I think
he's been getting paid to minimally work.
Right.
He's on the Kevin Nash deal.
Right. I think he's a decent wrestler. People like him. I think he'd get cheered in AEW. And his brother would be like, hey, can I get a rub here? Come over here and help me. So
yeah, I could see him going to AEW.
Yeah. Quincy Elliott. I don't know who that is. It's an NXT person, I think. Is that the big guy from NXT?
Yep.
Okay.
Apparently a real trash bag.
Yeah, I remember when he got in a ton of shit a few months ago. He's not going anywhere.
Mm-hmm. Nope. Done.
Bryson Montana. Couldn't tell you who that is.
Nope.
The true big name on this list, the biggest superstar maybe ever released, ever cut from WWE in the history of the company, Dana Brooke.
Man, are you number one? Are you okay?
I'll recover. It's going to take some
time.
Time heals. Listen, time heals all wounds. We'll be okay. Me and Dana will be okay.
I looked to see if she ever had a merch shirt, and I don't think she did. I was going to buy it for you.
Jesus. Just so everybody, when I wear it, everybody knows that there's a pervert here. Listen, Dana Brooke, I've softened her because I feel bad when that kid didn't high five her.
Dude, what an awful clip.
But let's be honest, she's one of the worst professional wrestlers I've ever seen in my entire life. Which means she'll probably join AEW's women's division.
Her, I could see being done.
I hope so. I
really don't see her doing anything.
Big Dave, give her a call.
Ooh.
All right, I'm going to lump some of these together. Mansoor, Mace, Dabba-Kato, who was Commander Aziz. Shanky.
Shanky.
All these people are going nowhere. Maybe a Mansoor, wasn't he? He was like assigned as a deal with the Saudi prince, wasn't he?
I have no idea.
But there goes the male models.
I could see like Dabba-Kato and Shanky like going somewhere just because of how big they are.
Yeah.
But probably like an MLW.
Yeah, or Impact.
Yeah.
For sure. Ulisa Leon, Daniel MacArthur, Kevin Ventura Cortez, and Alexis Gray.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know who any of these people are.
Nope, no idea.
I'm going to guess they end up nowhere.
Nope, you're always, never like to see anybody lose their job, but,
right.
sometimes got to trim some fat every now and again.
And that's the thing. We talk about it. I heard people talking about it this week. Like, you used to just get a couple of years in the WWE, and then your run was over, and if you were lucky, you were brought back later. Yep. But, like, these guys like Ziggler staying there for fucking 20 years as a mid-card guy, essentially, is, pretty unheard of. So,
and listen, Ziggler, he had like a 4-year run where he was pretty hot in the early 2010s.
Yeah.
But also there's the side of like, oh, he's so underrated and he's held back, and then why does he keep signing the contract extensions to stay there? It's because he's financially taken care of. Come on.
Yeah. Ziggler,
it's not like, come on.
Yeah. Ziggler's one of these guys though, man, because I always thought that, like, while I never liked him necessarily, like I was never like, oh man, here comes Ziggler. I just thought he was like a perfect WWE guy.
Yeah.
Good looking dude, good size, like, good build, big sell, was a big selling guy, like,
Yep.
And it just never completely caught on for whatever reason. But I always just was like, man, this is like a perfect, like, babyface WWE guy. But
yeah, the one time when they were going to run with him, he got kicked in the face by Jack Swagger, and that was it.
Right. Now retired from MMA, Jack Swagger.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because they kept jerking him off.
Oh, is that what it was?
That's what he said.
Oh, well, why would you leave someplace that was doing that for you? I don't understand.
Me personally, I'm fine with an old-fashioned.
Yeah, whatever.
That's his story.
Yeah. So, that's interesting. Wow, wait, yeah. Riddick Moss, according to this list, Riddick Moss started with the WWE in 2014. Is that true?
Sure.
How come nobody knows who he is?
I have no idea.
Also, this list under Elias says started in 2014 with a little star that says also portrayed his own brother Ezekiel.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was definitely
2015 for Aaliyah. 8 years in that company for that lady.
So I don't know if you ever saw it. It was an early network show. I think it was called like Battleground or Proving Ground or something, where there's a lot of like NXT upstarts.
Yeah,
and she was one of them.
Oh,
and like she was trying to develop a gimmick, and she just couldn't get anything, and it's kind of awkward to watch.
And that continued for 8 years.
Yeah, essentially it did.
Okay,
it sure did. Yeah, it was good for her for sticking around as long as she did.
It's interesting though. You look at some of these guys, like you look at Boogs and Mustafa Ali, like 2016 for Mustafa, 2017 for Rick Boogs, and you're like, you're in the company for 3 years and the pandemic hits. Like, that's tough.
Yeah.
Think about how long it takes some guys to catch on, and then you're just stuck in those 2 to 3 years where just nothing was happening. It's,
Oh, it's brutal.
Yeah. But then you look at a guy like Riddick Moss, who was there since 2014, apparently. You can't get shit going in 5 years. That's a little rough, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, what was his big thing was Madcap Moss.
Yeah.
When he was kind of, was he feud? Or no, he was Baron Corbin's sidekick, and then he,
he's a good looking dude. He's got, big guy, but yeah, I don't know.
Cool.
Yeah, cool, man. But yeah, that's it for releases that happened today. We didn't talk about this last week, but the merger's done, so that's a thing, which is why this shit's happening. I have pre-Googled pro wrestling news.
Look at you
here, and there's not much. Sort of a beside these releases, a bit of a light wrestling week this week, I think.
Well, there was the news today about the TV deal.
Oh yeah, right. That happened today too. SmackDown's going to USA?
Yeah, so SmackDown's going to USA starting in 2024.
Okay.
Officially done with Fox. There was kind of the talks that Fox wasn't happy with the ratings.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to USA officially. The one thing I'm more interested in, well, first of all, I think they got a 40% boost on the contract.
That's crazy.
Of course they did.
Yeah, of course. Crazy though.
The one thing where I was kind of like, was Raw's not going to be on USA anymore starting in September 24.
Well, that's weird.
So no more Raw and no more NXT. So NXT, I feel like
they got a long while to negotiate that deal. But if USA's buying SmackDown, why aren't they keeping Raw?
Yeah, I feel like NXT is going to that's going to go to Peacock.
You think so?
Yeah, I don't know how much of a TV market there is for it at this point.
Okay.
Unless somebody can get it real cheap,
Yeah, sure.
And then I don't know what's gonna happen with Raw.
That'll end up somewhere, right?
Yeah. I just don't know where. And it could stay on USA. Who knows if they renegotiate?
Yeah, they still have about a year, so.
Yeah, so that can, but I just, SmackDown going to USA Network.
Yeah.
So the Fox deal didn't really last super long.
Did they break out of it early? Or
no,
they just didn't renew?
I just think they just didn't renew.
Yeah, because didn't WWE fire Panini, and now there's a lawsuit or whatever this week about cards and shit?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on with Panini.
Yeah.
I saw even with the NFL, I think the Players Association kind of got away from them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I'm not up on the card game. But yeah, so that's really the only other thing I had is that they got a new contract.
I mean, NXT's ratings from this last week was 824,000 live viewers on the USA Network. So,
well, actually, that's pretty good.
Not bad. I mean, if you compare it to AEW, that's kind of neck and neck-ish. So if you compare it to Collision, they're blowing it out of the water. So,
well,
But they said that it's the highest rating since September of 2020. So,
wow, I wonder what sparked it.
Becky Lynch is champion, or whatever.
Oh, is that what's sparking it?
I would assume, right? You have Becky Lynch. You have Dominic Mysterio. It looks like so they did an 850 the week before, but yeah, I mean you're looking. Otherwise, they're in the 600s. That was a huge jump. So it's because you had Butch back on there wrestling Tyler Bate. You had Dominic Mysterio wrestling Carmelo Hayes, and you had Becky Lynch the last 2 weeks as champion, and then working in a tag team match in the main event. That's why it's boosting the ratings. If you go back a month, they're in the low 600,000s.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
If you go back to the end of last year, they're in the 500,000s. So, all right.
Yeah, so when they're negotiating with Raw, they could say, we'll throw you NXT for a couple extra million.
Right,
why not?
Exactly. Yeah. But there is a thing here that I want to read really quick. Is Tony Khan names 4 legends as his pro wrestling Mount Rushmore. This is from today. Tony Khan did a podcast, the Superstar Crossover podcast. Thanks for coming on this show, Tony, you dick.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Okay, his Mount Rushmore. This is interesting. I would love to see how good. Listen, I'm not going to, but to see how quickly he spit these names out with hesitation. But it's an interesting top 4.
Okay.
Ricky Steamboat.
All right, I could rock with that.
No complaints. I'm not complaining about any of them. It's just interesting. Ricky being the really interesting one. Not a lot of people put him up there because he never worked heel. Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Okay.
The Nature Boy Ric Flair.
Mm-hmm.
And Bret the Hitman Hart.
I mean, that's a good list.
It's a safe list. With the it's the safe list with the Ricky Steamboat thrown in to be like nobody's going to question Ricky Steamboat, but like, you know, Ricky could be taken off that list and replaced with a bunch of other people. But I like it.
Yeah, I'm into it. Good
he
list.
said that Bret Hart's a very classy person in real life.
You know,
in person, he's a real gentleman. He lives up to the reputation.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
right.
He is a real gentleman. I totally agree. Thank you, Tony Khan, for sticking up for Bret Hart.
That's right. It's about time somebody does.
Yeah.
Wonder what he thinks about Shawn Michaels.
Or that boob Goldberg.
Oh, that boob. All right. That's it for wrestling news. Oh, hold on. There you go. Wrestling news done.
Well, since wrestling news is done, before we get into shit we watched,
yes.
I think it's time for the Terry Funk moment of the week.
It is time for the Terry Funk moment of the week. Brett doesn't know what the Terry Funk moment of the week is, so he'll have to listen to this after the episode's uploaded. But here it is, a Terry Funk moment of the week.
We have the World TV champion. Hey, Terry, will you leave us alone out here?
Just wait a minute, Lance. I want to say one thing. Yo-ho! Ric Flair, we know you're out there. Yes, we do. We know you're watching tonight. And I would like to pay your way round trip here next week to the newest extravaganza in wrestling, the Bimbo Bash. That's right. Ric Flair is the Bimbo and I'm the Basher. You know, Lance, you know what I'd like to do, though? Is I would like to sincerely go ahead and tell Ric Flair that we wish him well, and I know you do too, and I'm sure that you do too, Sting. You know, what is your name anyhow? You know, Sting. What is your first name? Is it B? You know, B Sting?
Just leave us alone.
Or is it Ray? You know, Sting Ray? No, Lance. I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding you. I'm just kidding you. You know, I know that you are the world's television champion, you know. What do you do? Have a belt that goes around your waist with a TV on it, you know, a Motorola or a Zenith?
Okay, you see the value of the champion.
No. What are you going to be next? The world's washing machine champion?
Right.
Are you going to have yourself a Maytag? Are you going to get yourself a Lady Kinmore and maybe with your brains you could go ahead and take it to the theater every Saturday night?
Very funny, very.
No, I'm just kidding you, Sting. What I want to do is I really want to shake your hand and become your friend. Let's shake hands. Come on.
Whoa, hey. We're out of time. We got to get out of here. Our time is up. Hey, come on now, you guys. Hey, not now. We're out of here. Will you get it now? Come on, Terry. Come on. Wait. Not now.
NWA Pro Wrestling was brought to you in part by A&W, the maker of A&W Root Beer and A&W Cream Soda. So sit back and pour yourself an A&W.
And we're back. Oh, Terry Funk, you scamp! You.
That was a great moment.
It's a surprise.
You really told him, Terry.
Everyone else knows what it is by now, and you don't, as of this recording. Yeah, so I saved some Terry Funk moment of the week, so that was the one I picked. It's great because everything Terry Funk does is great. So
you're not wrong.
Be prepared. I don't know, whatever. Terry Funk rules. So, all right, what are we gonna do now? Are we gonna talk about the wrestling we watched this week?
Yeah.
All right. Or do we want to talk about the wrestling we went to first? What are we gonna do?
You know what? I'm gonna hit off two things and then we can talk about the wrestling we went to.
All right, sounds good.
So Friday Night SmackDown,
Yes.
it featured a rare appearance by one Mr. Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Oh.
Dewey graced us with his presence.
Oh, Mick Foley's son was there too? That's cool.
Oh, yes.
Did he get caned?
No.
No.
Boo. Listen, I love The Rock.
Right, everybody loves The Rock.
I still get real happy when I see him on wrestling for some reason.
Okay.
So
does everybody else.
Yeah, dude, because he came out and when his music hit, it was like insane. And then when he stepped out into like the sight of people, it got even crazier.
I bet.
So happy to see him make an appearance. Got a lot of time on his hands right now.
Apparently, still looking for that W.
Trying to get he got a W there. I'll give him that.
All right, that's good.
So he was on that Friday afternoon. He was on Pat McAfee's show.
Yeah,
and he said, there was a handshake deal for him and Roman to be at WrestleMania 39 last year.
Yeah,
and it never went through for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
And then he said, "Well, he goes, I'm open to WrestleMania 40."
Okay,
so we'll see what happens there.
And Cody just looked longingly at the revolver in his nightstand.
Oh, dark.
Yep.
Yeah.
If it's on the table, it's gonna happen.
It has to happen.
It has to happen. And what does Cody do? Nothing. Nothing he can do about it.
Yeah, it absolutely has to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, seeing The Rock out there again, it's always so much fun.
Yeah.
Even like if he's, a weirdo Hollywood dude now, it's cool to see him.
So if Rock does wrestle Roman, does Rock beat him?
No.
You don't think so? You don't think you don't think their out is to put it on The Rock for like 2 weeks and then have somebody beat The Rock?
I don't think so.
No. Okay.
No. Rock's schedule would have to be cleared up. And I don't think 52-year-old Rock's going to wrestle more than once.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
But who knows what the future holds?
That's true.
So before we get into wrestling we went to, there was one other thing I watched before we'll talk about it.
Okay.
I did watch one match from Impact 1000 last week.
Okay. How are the Team 3D looking?
Didn't watch that part.
I thought you were for sure going to watch your buddy Bubba.
Nope.
Or
absolutely not.
Brother Bray.
Bully brother.
Yeah.
So I watched one match. It was for the X Division title. It was the challenger Chris Sabin and the champion Leo Rush.
Oh yeah, I saw this happened.
Dude, it was so good.
Yeah, good.
Seeing Chris Sabin win the X Division title for like the 1100th time.
Yes.
Made me giggle.
Yeah.
But Sabin was on the first episode of Impact.
He sure was.
And now he was on the 1000th episode.
Yeah.
But he did beat Leo Rush for the X Division title. It was an awesome match, to be honest. It was going to be my match of the week for domestic before a certain match last night, which we'll talk about later.
All right.
But yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know how much I'll keep up with Impact.
Yeah.
I just pop in every now and again. I think that's a healthy relationship to have with Impact Wrestling.
Yeah, I think that's the most anybody should ever do with Impact Wrestling is just pop in every now and then.
Yeah. Unless you're Ed and you love Impact forever.
That's super weird.
Yeah. But then I guess we'll talk about wrestling we actually went to.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Yeah, so Steel Stacks SmackDown 2.
Yes.
Presented by LVAC. That was this past Saturday down in Bethlehem at the Steel Stacks. You and I hit the road together. Met up with Doug, met up with Adam, and I want to say Adam's friend's name is Dave, but I don't remember.
Yes, it is Dave.
See,
I don't think he listens to this podcast, so it doesn't. That's fine. We can get his name wrong.
So Adam's friend Dan. Okay.
Yes. Adam's friend Robert Sunshine.
Yes, Robert. Yeah, Bobby Sunshine. Yeah. So we got there. Normal time, I guess.
Well, so we, the three of us had gotten the Wheeler Yuta figures. This is sort of the most important thing of the night, I guess, really, right? I'm sure Adam's going to be covering this a lot more in depth on At Odds.
Yes.
But the three of us had all gotten the Blood and Guts Wheeler Yuta figure in time. It was very serendipitous. So we were ready to go see him. And you and I walked in and did the duty of donating. We donated to the food kitchen that's always there for raffle, raising some
because
funds.
You and I we're good people.
Right, we're good quality people.
We give back.
We tried to. We did it last year. They had a big prize package, but that's not really what matters, right? What matters is the giving, right? That's what makes you feel good.
Yeah.
And then we went over to see Wheeler. Adam was first in line because
did you see Adam donate?
No, and even when we walked over, he said
he
that he was first in line because quote, he didn't waste his time with donations.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
interesting. Interesting choice of words.
Right. Very interesting. But, I know how I sleep at night.
Same.
Yeah. And, so.
Not surrounded by cardboard.
Right. With the hollow eyes of Alexa Bliss cardboard cutout staring down at me, from the hastily duct taped job to my ceiling. Exactly.
Jesus.
So we got to meet Wheeler Yuta. Adam got his signed, and I guess it's Wheeler's first figure. I thought he had another one out, but it's his first figure.
This was number 1.
So that's cool. And he signed it, first ever. So I was second in line, and I went over and I grabbed my paint pen, and Wheeler, nice boy that he is, was like, "Do you want it personalized?" And I said, "Can you sign it? Second ever signed." I said, "So I could break that guy's balls for having the first." And he was like, "Absolutely. Sign that for me." We took the picture, and then you were up next.
Yeah. So I got up, and he looked at me and goes, "Do you want me to hit yours with the third signed?" And we kind of just laughed it off, and we both stopped. And I said to him, why not? I go, we're all friends. I go, this will be a fun story.
Right.
Which Yuta got a real big pop out of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have the third signed Wheeler Yuta figure.
There you go. So that's fun. He was a nice dude, reasonable price on the autograph and the picture. Somehow Sidney Bacabella got the table next to him. I don't know how that happened. And I said to Bacabella, I was like, because I walked in, I was wearing my suicidal hat, and he looked at me, or he yelled across the room, "Hey, you, the guy who's definitely too old to be wearing that hat, get over here."
Mm-hmm.
And then when I walked over to get the thing from Wheeler, I was like, how did you get to be the table next to the biggest star here? And he's like, "I'm the biggest star here. I'm a 2-time Hall of Famer," and whatever. Because Sidney's awesome.
Sidney knows how to work a room.
He certainly does. He draws so many people to the merch table for everybody. Him first, but then whatever's left, he tends to hit everybody.
Of course. My favorite shtick of his is he'll yell out with Channing Thomas. He'll say, "Oh my God, look at that. Another winner. Come on over to the table."
Yeah.
What's your prize? You get to pay for a picture with me.
Absolutely. It's brilliant.
Oh, Sidney.
And so they also had the 3 members of the Nation of Domination. Ron Simmons unadvertised, the Godfather, / Kama / Papa Shango, and D'Lo Brown. We did not do any of those because they were a little expensive.
Yeah.
Just a little bit, little pricey. Little pricey. But I did manage to sneak a little moment with the Nation in before the show. So I guess it was as the show was going on. I think it was as Mantequilla was wrestling.
Butters.
Also known as Butters. So I love the way that you knew. We're going to talk about how you knew what Mantequilla stood for, because I didn't. It's fucking hilarious. But so I looked over where we were standing, and the 3 of them were over at the bar. And I was like, I want a beer. I was drinking some Guinness. I was like, I'm going to go get a beer, and I'm going to go buy Ron Simmons around, because I love Ron Simmons. And, so I went over, and their beer was comped by the bartender. And I
As
overheard,
it should be.
As it should be. And I overheard the Godfather, Smoke Train, Charles Wright, talking about how sick he was because they were at a convention earlier in the day, about how shit the weed was in Pennsylvania and how he doesn't know what they were telling him was weed. They were trying to get him to smoke, but it all tasted like dirt. And whatever. And I had my medical vape. Let me make sure that's very clear. My medical vape with me.
Yes, medical.
And I, just walked over and said, I have this if you want it. And, rightfully so, in a very smart decision, said, I don't really take, from strangers. And I was like, I get that. That makes sense. You don't know who I am. You don't know what sort of, I have none, but, in this day and age, who knows what shit is spiked with or whatever. But I offered, and then D'Lo and her, they gave me a little cheers. Like, thanks anyway, a little cheers. So I got to do that with the Nation of Domination. I got to have a little mark out with them.
You Mizark.
I am a Mizark. For Ron Simmons, absolutely. Well, for Papa Shango, 100%. But, so the first match on this show, Mantequilla and the Cyberhawks, that's Dangerhawk, Razorhawk, and Thunderhawk, versus the Lost Boys of Ethan Promise, Junie Underwood, Miles Penn, and Ryan Riz. The important thing here is Mantequilla is a masked man with a yellow and black motif. And I looked it up because I didn't know, because Mantequilla is like a cool sounding word, but you never know what these things mean. Mantequilla means butter in Spanish. And you knew this.
I sure did.
How did you know this, Brett?
Thank you, South Park.
So
there's an episode of South Park where, and listen, it's a cartoon. It's not real life. I don't agree with it. Where they're playing Last of the Mexicans, and Butters is playing a Mexican.
Right.
And Cartman is, obviously the heel there hunting for him.
Right, he's being Cartman, yes.
So they're playing the game. Butters somehow gets out and gets lost in the woods and stuff, and ends up getting picked up on the side of the road by this man and woman. For him to be their house slave.
Okay, great.
And his name during it is Mantequilla.
Right. Hilarious.
And at one point they're just telling him to clean all this stuff, and it's a hilarious episode. But and I'm gonna have to send it. You're gonna have to watch it.
I'm going to have to, yes, because that wrestler's name is Butters. He's ruined forever.
Oh, hey fellas. It's Butters. So listen, I enjoy LVAC shows.
Yeah, me too.
I think the last LVAC show before this one was probably the best in ring that they've had,
for sure.
The first 3 matches on this show were not good.
Yeah, they were rough. They were definitely rough.
Yeah. I don't want to, poo-poo all over people.
Yeah.
But it just was not good.
Yeah, I don't want to mention any other names other than Mantequilla just because of the funny name, but it was off to a rough start, and it's a local indie. It's what it is. Not everything's going to be great. Different levels of ability and experience. But yeah, a little rough, a rough go. And it's hard because you do have a bit of a different crowd at this thing. This is bigger than a regular LVAC show. Sure. You have some WWE stars there. You have the advertised AEW star, who was supposed to be wrestling but got injured, quote unquote. It's a little bit harder for a crowd, to see that kind of thing and not start to run away with it a little bit.
Yeah.
But the back half of the show I felt was as solid as anything LVAC normally does.
I agree.
We got to see Tracy Williams. I got my mark photo with Tracy Williams. I didn't even have to drop Joe Sposto's name. And I told him that I feel like he's the reason why Brian Cage tries now. Because his match against Brian Cage in Philly was the first time I saw Brian Cage try to be a wrestler and not just a body guy.
Yes.
And then him and Matt Mikowski wrestled Delirious and Frightmare. And then we got Max the Impaler versus Delmy Exo. And we love Max. You know,
Max is so cool.
Max is our pick in the gender neutral monarch of the soon to be named network, or of At Odds with Wrestling, whatever it is, from this last time. We love Max. Max is awesome. Max is going back to Tokyo Joshi Pro. We cleaned them out of their little Max like mini wrestling buddy.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. It's on my desk currently.
Yeah, mine's on my desk too, actually.
Yeah. From WrestleCrate UK, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a cool little thing. So we cleaned them out there. We got our photos. So that was cool. Last time we saw Max, they were hitting Dan Champion with a garbage can full of glass.
Yeah.
So that was awesome.
Oh, that's still the coolest.
It was awesome. All-time LVAC moment. We then got the team of Brandon Kirk and Lucky 13 versus Club Soda, which is Jeff Cannonball and Puff.
A big old squirt party everywhere.
Managed by Downtown Spaghetti Buffet Simon Sutherland. And they did. They made a lot of people squirt.
I sure was.
We've said this on the show before. I think we've definitely said it in private, but like, I really love seeing Jeff Cannonball.
Yeah.
Cannonball's awesome.
It's so much fun.
This is like a weird, like, outside of Puff, like Lucky and Brandon Kirk are sort of deathmatch guys, as was Jeff Cannonball. But they wrestle sort of comedy stuff here, and it just works really well until those rat bastards shave Simon Sutherland's luxurious locks.
How dare they?
And they did it. Did you see the backstage promo?
I sure did.
Where Cannonball's finishing the rest of it?
Oh, poor Simon.
Poor Downtown Spaghetti Buffet, Simon Sutherland. A legend, the best, the best, maybe second best manager in the Lehigh Valley.
We love you.
We do. We had Mike Bailey versus LSG, who is the ace of space.
Yes.
And that was good. I'm not familiar with LSG, but Bailey hits what's his finisher? What's the double knees thing called?
I don't know what he calls it.
The Ultimate Weapon.
Sure.
I think that's what he calls it. He hit a real good one at the end of this match.
Yeah.
And then we had the main event, the sort of Bacabella's Army versus Ultra Mantis's Mob, is what it's called here online.
I love that, and I wish there would have been an event shirt in the style of like Sting Squadron.
That would have been really cool.
Man, I wanted it so bad.
Yeah, that would have been awesome. So it was Cheeseburger, Clara Carreras, Dan Champion, Edith Surreal, and filling in, because Wheeler Yuta got hurt, the legendary Swamp Monster.
Oh, yeah.
Managed by Ultra Mantis Black and Wheeler Yuta, versus Bacabella's Army of Avery Good, Bojack, Channing Thomas, Jakob Hammermeyer, and a wrestling Sydney Bacabella, because Becca went missing, which is an interesting thing that seems to continue to happen. And this was arguably the most LVAC show on this match on this LVAC show.
100%.
It's just madness. Dan Champion was on the news. He was in the newspaper. He was all over the place this week. And this is sort of the culmination of the storyline of his face turn. You know, Bacabella screwing him over. Avery Good coming out of retirement. And yeah, Dan gets his revenge. Wheeler Yuta, that dastardly son of a bitch, turns on them, accepts a check.
That little shithead.
Right? Accepts a check from Bacabella towards the end of the match.
How dare he?
But it then is revealed that the Swamp Monster has been Chuck Taylor this entire time. And he chases Wheeler Yuta out so the LVAC can continue AEW storylines if they want.
I like it.
And yeah, it was, the crowd's big behind Dan Champion. It's a great team. Crowd was hot for most of the night. Everybody was rocking and rolling, having a good time. Back half of this show was really, really good. Yeah. I think that's about it, right?
I love going to LVAC shows.
It's always a good time. You're
never going to have a bad time at an LVAC show.
Mm-mm.
Obviously, bummed, we didn't get to see some regular people, as in friends.
Yeah.
Obviously no Joe, no
Right.
Tim,
Right.
But hey, there's always next time, which I
Yeah.
think next time's in December.
Yeah, I think December. They're around the new year. So,
Yeah. Good
LVC's
time.
always great. This is their big show. I hope they keep getting to do them. One a year.
I think they will. I mean,
Yeah.
it seems to be a lot of interest there. So, it's always a good time.
Yeah. And Alpha Jr. was there without incident. So,
It sure was.
but yeah, this is always fun. I like that venue. I like hanging out. We went to Denny's afterwards, as you do.
Of course we did.
And Doug watched me eat country gravy.
So
then we got some turnpike gravy for the ride home.
And then we had some turnpike slushies too.
It's true. We did. Are we going to tell that story on air? We're going to talk about the disaster that you left.
Yeah. So listen,
in a 7-Eleven.
I'm a child.
Okay.
I don't know how things work.
Okay.
I don't need to know how things work because
Right.
I'm hot.
Okay.
So, a slushy machine.
Mm-hmm.
Admittedly, listen, the lever was a little hard to pull.
Hold on, we've been on the hunt, right?
Okay.
Because we don't have a 7-Eleven in our area, and 7-Eleven is carrying Mountain Dew pitch black slushies. Yeah.
And also we saw street deer.
we saw city deer. That was weird.
Yeah, and then we told Doug about it all excited, and he's like, that happens all the time here.
Bethlehem just have deer that live in the cities. I don't understand. I guess they rent apartments.
Sure.
So, all right. So we found a 7-Eleven, and they had the pitch black Mountain Dew slushy, which have both of us elated. # slush life. This is the tip that we're on. We were talking about slushies before we started recording tonight.
We sure were.
I had a slushie yesterday.
I had one too.
I'm going to eat one of my little freezer cheapy slushies tonight, like Slush Life. # Slush Life.
I'm all in.
# Slush Fund. What an affordable treat a slushie is too. I got a large one from the Turkey Hill the other day. It was like a $1.30 or something.
Dude,
Insane.
The one I got from Sheets the other night, it was free because of my Sheets points.
There you go. See, what a deal. What a delicious treat for free.
It's wonderful.
It's a deal at thrice the price, I tell you.
It's so good.
All right. So now that that's done, continue your fight with the lever.
Listen, admittedly, it was a hard lever. Okay?
It definitely a hard lever. Definitely could have used some grease on that lever for sure.
Yeah. So I got it pumping, filling up my extra large slushy cup of Mountain Dew Pitch Black slushy.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot to turn it off. What do you want?
You did.
What do you want me to do?
Right, and you didn't do the top first. So the disappointing thing about an extra large cup is that they do not fit under the nozzle with the dome lid on.
See, and that's why I don't do it.
Right. So, but you didn't hit it right, and like if you know anything about pouring a slushie, right, it swells afterwards.
It sure did.
Right, it hits the warm air. Slushification happens. That's the scientific descriptor of what happens.
It swelled all over my hands, all over the machine.
It swelled everywhere. I have a picture. The machine, the tray to catch the excess is full of purple slush. The cup has runneth over. Your hand is covered. You look like you had one hand belong to the grimace.
Yep.
And I hadn't got my slushie yet, so you asked me to block the view so that because the guy's sitting right there at the counter.
Yeah, I had to clean.
So you had to clean. So I got my slushie without incident, might I add.
I was so sticky.
You were incredibly sticky.
Yeah.
So we handle our business. We walk over to the register, just trying to get out of there, right?
Well, yeah, and then we're standing there. We take a sip of the slushie, and we just go, "This isn't good."
Yeah, I was gonna get there. Tasted like shit.
Yeah,
terrible.
I think I just looked at you and said, "Very tart."
Terrible. For as good as Mountain Dew Pitch Black is as bad as this slushie was. But we did both drink most of ours. So
I finished her up.
So we walked up to the counter, and I got a pack of M&Ms or something with it. I don't remember. And I put my thing down, and the guy says something to me, and I'm like, "Yep." And then he points at you, And it was a nice Middle Eastern man, I guess. I don't really know. I can't tell. But he had an accent, and which is important to this story. And I went to pay for my things, and he pointed at you, and he's like, "Is he with you?" And I was like, "Yeah, he's with me." And I was like, "Oh no, they're gonna bust us for making a mess out of the fucking slushy machine." I was like, "We're both going down for this crime.
We're going to slushy jail
that I had no hand in." I guess as an accomplice, an accessory after the fact. But so I'm like, "Yeah, he's with me." But he could pay for his own stuff. Like, we're not combining anything. In case, because also you left by your own admission, arguably a whole other entire slushy's worth of slush.
Oh, no doubt. There was like a whole extra large slushy just laying there in the tray. That's on me. Hand up.
So I was like, no, he can pay for his own thing. I grab my stuff and I leave. And I go get in the car. And I was not witness to this, but this is my favorite part. So you got to go ahead and tell it.
Yeah, because you ran out of the store because you were embarrassed.
I was.
And the guy says to me, he looks at me and he goes, "That your friend?" I said, "Yeah." And he says, "He's son of bitch." To which I responded, "Brother, you don't know the half of it." I paid for my slushy and I trotted out the door.
Yep.
I don't know what he was trying to get at.
I don't know.
I don't know if you thought you were a wise guy.
I guess so. He's not as a wiseacre. All I know is that your picture is going to be hanging up. They're going to rip us off the security camera and put us on the door. And ban us.
Going to look. Yeah, my picture. I'm just going to look very confused, covered in slushy.
Right, they're going to ban us from ever getting slushies there ever again. That slushy.
You win some, you lose some.
Yeah, that tasted like duty. I didn't like that slushy at all. So
pure ass.
So no worries there. Yeah, no worries. I'm never having to go back to a 7-Eleven.
Yeah. But I will go back to an LVAC show.
Absolutely. Every time and any time.
Yeah.
Joe, you were missed, pal.
Very, yes.
All right. Do you want to get into TV, or is there anything else from LVAC that tickled your fancy?
No, I think that's pretty much it.
Okay.
So Rampage, I watched a match.
Okay.
Which was
the main event.
Yeah, Statlander versus Jade.
Yes.
For the TBS title. Wanted to see it because it was basically Jade's last AEW match.
Yep.
Probably her best AEW match.
I agree.
And yeah, Statlander beat her fair and square.
Right.
And they did the little curtain call at the end where Jade gives her the hug and raises her hand, and Jade. Like the next day was already at the Performance Center.
Yeah, crazy. It's nice to, going out on your best match to date. We'll see what they do with her in the E. I'm sad to see her go. We talked about this last week, but it was definitely her best match. I thought it was a good match.
Yeah.
It's interesting to me that you didn't watch the QTV bit at the beginning. That is some of the worst piece of television I've ever seen. QT Marshall isn't even on it, on his own segment. That the lady that's there has some gimmick where she goes crazy and tries to stab people with scissors now.
Maybe I should start watching. I'm into that.
So Johnny TV is there holding down the QTV bit, and he pops up out of nowhere and says, "It's me. It's me. It's Johnny TV," which it's a ripoff, right? And then he says that QT's not there because QT holds a title in AAA, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And he says that QT's not there, but he's been beating so many Mexicans that they're calling him the Mexicutioner.
Interesting.
And then the lady tries to stab somebody with scissors. It was terrible TV. It's real bad. I don't know why you keep doing it. Nobody on these things has any sort of value to this company, but you keep fucking doing it on Rampage, I guess.
Yeah, well, you're hidden on Rampage.
Yeah. We got the Kingdom versus Christopher Daniels and Matt Sydal match that I didn't watch. We had a Mogul Embassy promo, which I thought was funny because Nana, the wonderful Nana, the man who's finally getting the credit for being the brilliant man that he is, said
right.
that the Young Bucks put their stinky feet in his face in reference to them super kicking him.
Yeah.
We got an Outrunners appearance, but they don't even get an entrance, and they're forced to team with Peter Avalon in a squash.
No.
Aussie Open is then in a crazy squash against Damian Chambers and Lord Crew. Hard squash on that one.
Oh,
yeah,
boy.
That's all the Rampage. I think we talked about it on the ride maybe, but like, if I'm AEW, and I'm not speculating they need to cut, save money or whatever, they need to start running some buildings that are appropriate in size for them.
Mm-hmm.
But I think cutting Rampage is a really good idea.
Yeah, I don't see its purpose anymore.
Right.
I mean, listen, if you're having good main events like you had this week, okay, then that's fine.
Right, that's what WWE Saturday Night survived on for how long?
Exactly.
But if you're not, then you can just come out and very easily be like, listen, it's our decision. It's not like, and people are going to run wild. Oh, look, they're canceling shows because they're not getting the ratings. But like to be like, listen, we don't really need 5 hours of programming. We'd rather focus our attention on the 2 separate shows than having to worry about this third one every week. And just walk away from it for a bit.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm at when it comes to Rampage.
Even maybe up even for how stupid they are, we don't like them. But instead of Rampage, run a like Battle of the Belts or a special every 2 months in that time slot or something,
Yeah, and actually have somebody win on Battle of the Belts.
Right, and make it feel special, because Rampage ain't it.
No, sure isn't. I used to think it was such an easy watch, and now I barely watch it at all.
Absolutely. But that leads us into Collision, correct?
Yeah, so Collision was Saturday.
Yes.
I'll say it off the bat, there was a lot of weird production stuff going on.
So it seems like they did it on purpose, though, right?
Yeah, but then, even there was a thing where Kevin Kelly started talking about Mike Santana.
Yeah.
And then just kind of stopped.
Right.
And it went to something else.
Yeah.
And that was real weird.
I actually rewound that because I was like, did I miss something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very weird. But yeah, the weird, countdowns and the take 27s on the promos or whatever.
Very weird.
I don't know who that's for.
I don't know.
And it's very strange.
Yeah.
Very, very strange.
We had our first sort of, I think, solidified, and she said it before, but like Jade's gone this week, and the first thing that come out on Collision is Britt saying that the TBS title stands for The Brit Show. I was like, I guess Jade really is completely gone, huh?
Yep, she's outie. So Collision starts with Big Bill and Ricky Starks.
Yes, that's big with 2 Gs.
Going up against Danielson and Claudio.
Yes.
I thought that this was a solid way to start your show.
Yeah, I liked it.
Nothing crazy good, but it was just solid.
I liked
solid match.
I liked how hard Claudio went in this match, particularly on Big Bill.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know. It's still so weird with the he's a bad guy, but he's a good guy. I don't know. I think it confuses people at times.
Yeah, they're just, running like a, depending on who you're facing kind of thing, I guess. But, because they do it with Mox, they do it with everybody in this fucking BCC.
Yeah.
Except for Dragon. Well, no, that's not true. They do it with Dragon.
Dragon's like a full-blown good guy right now. He comes out of the good guy side of the entrance.
Right, but remember how long he was a bad guy? So, who knows?
Yeah, I know it's weird.
But Starks pins Dragon here after a low blow, which shocked me.
Yeah, I'm into it.
Yeah, me too. I like it.
And then later in the show, Starks, during one of these weird promos, says like he's sick of Bryan Danielson. He's putting an end to this next week.
Yeah.
And we're having an old Texas death match.
Yep.
Not your normal death match, a Texas
death match, right.
Which means you're going to have to post the rules to that.
They love doing Texas death matches in AEW.
I'm not mad at it.
I like it. I'm here for it.
We have Orange Cassidy and Hook sharing some Doritos.
We do. Did that happen here?
That was
that's
after
way down the list, yeah.
Yeah, dude, I don't have all the Collision right now.
Right.
Fast forward.
So
I just don't care.
Yeah, I got some weird stuff. Like, so the Book of Hobbs is back, right? But I was like, how long ago was that pay-per-view? 2 weeks ago?
I don't even know.
And this is say 2 weeks, whatever it is. This is the first we're seeing Hobbs or Miro back on TV. I'm like, you guys had one of the most talked about matches of that whole pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't do anything with them. So that makes no sense. Then Miro comes out. Miro has his promo. He calls Hobbs a son of a bitch. And then just sort of spirals into gibberish. So I was like, you guys aren't going to do anything else with these guys? Like, literally, we're on top of the world with the talked about match, and you're just not putting them on TV. You had the Iron Savages versus FTR.
Yeah, I didn't watch this.
Do you know the Iron Savages, Brett?
Yeah.
Can you name the Iron Savages?
They were Bear Bronson and Bear whatever's faces.
Right. But they're not that anymore.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, the one of them is called Beefcake Boulder now. And there's 3 of them. And they're sipping sauce and living hoss, Brett.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying real hard to get these guys over.
Yep.
And like they do like the hip wiggles and stuff. I don't know if that works. FTR wins, and you find out their next challenger is the Workhorseman.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we have to look for. I'm sure the matches will be fine, but there's nothing compelling going on.
AEW loves an open challenge.
I guess so. Shane Taylor has Lee Moriarty with him and is now on TV regularly. That's a choice. Raw Dog versus Bowens, even though it was supposed to be Evil Uno, but Tony Khan got bullied out of it, so they literally just wrote in Sharpie over his name or added the number.
They literally did.
The funniest thing about this, so interference cost Bowens the match. Which is an interesting thing because AEW doesn't normally do that. But my favorite thing about this segment is that after Max Caster's rap or whatever, John Silver gets the microphone and says that he Googled scissoring and they're doing it wrong.
Good for you, John Silver.
We get an incredible Eddie Kingston promo.
Okay, yeah, this was awesome.
Yes. Eddie fucking rules. We know that his match against Claudio's coming up. On Dynamite.
He drops a lot of fuck bombs.
He does drop a lot of fuck bombs. Then we get OC and Hook backstage eating the best flavor of Dorito.
Fact. That's a fact.
And they're going to tag up
chili
or something.
Yeah.
So, going to try and give Hook more of a rub off of OC, I guess. I guess the best friends don't really need that or aren't going to be involved. But who knows? We got some familiar-ish faces to the network coming up next with PB Smooth and Wes Barkley getting extra squashed by Aussie Open.
Yeah, this was less than a minute.
Yeah, they got destroyed.
Yep.
So, yeah, that happened. And then
Aussie Open, they challenge FTR at Wrestle Dream.
Yes.
Keep wanting to call it Dreamwave for some reason.
What a weird show
Wrestle
that's
Dream.
working out to be.
Yeah.
Did you see? It's spoilers for Rampage, so I'm not going to tell you.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Did you see?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The Wrestle Dream match, great for the Ring of Honor tag team titles.
I hope somebody's ankles hurt worse than it is.
Cool,
so
bro.
That doesn't happen.
Yep. Andrade versus Scorpio Sky, I don't care.
Didn't watch it.
But Switchblade is back. He challenges on Andrade.
I like the post match.
Yeah. I think Juice Robinson should have a live mic. Every time anybody in Bullet Club Gold wrestles, they should just have Juice Robinson outside the ring with a live mic talking through the entire match.
Well, if you like money, then I agree.
Exactly.
If you don't like money, then you don't do it. Tony Khan must not like money.
Tony Khan does not like money. I guess not. Shibata's going to be at Wrestle Dream?
Yeah, but what was the point of this?
I don't know. Who do you think?
They didn't say who's wrestling.
Who's he going to wrestle? Who do you think he's going to work?
At this rate, probably the Blade. I don't fucking know.
Because he is wrestling Nick Wayne on Ring of Honor this week.
Oh, well, I may start having to watch Ring of Honor for a certain reason.
For Nick Wayne?
No.
Okay. But yeah, I was like, this is weird. Why do we want to see Shibata versus Nick Wayne? Like, it's
I don't know. Especially like a pure rules match.
Yeah, like I don't understand. Like, they've done nothing other than, like, they got my sympathy for Nick Wayne, but I'm not particularly a guy who's like, oh yeah, let me see what Nick Wayne can do against Japanese legend Shibata.
Yeah, me neither. That's not exactly knocking down my door.
The Righteous beat the Hardys clean as a whistle.
Hey DJ, you may not see a running trend here. Didn't watch this.
I didn't watch this either. I just caught the end of it, because of the Claudio package with Chikara footage afterwards. I went too far and then I went back. I really like the Righteous's entrance. I like the music. I like when Vincent snaps his fingers off time. I like the way Dutch looks. Like when he comes out and he looks like a twisted preacher kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't ever want to see any of these guys wrestle.
No, not at all.
But it's interesting the Hardys lost clean to the Righteous.
That's what they should be doing.
Sure. Maybe not to the Righteous.
No, that's exactly what they should be doing in the year of our Lord 2023.
We get the Claudio promo with Chikara footage, which I thought was
rocked.
A nice touch. The Ricky Starks cuts a promo here, and I don't know who he was complaining about, but he talking about Wrestle Dream and complains about the video package that showed Antonio Inoki, and then says that he doesn't even work here. And then
he was talking. Yeah, it was Zack Sabre Jr.
Right, but at first I thought he was talking about Inoki, and I was like, I guess he's not wrong.
God.
That's the Texas Death match, and then the main event: Statlander versus Britt Baker.
Sir, you skipped over maybe the best thing on this show.
What was it?
Tony Storm, Portrait of a Star.
Oh, was it on the show?
It sure was.
Oh, the little video package of her. Yes, right.
She's so great.
Yes, she's fantastic.
She's doing the sit-down interviews now with a series with RJ City.
Yes.
She's like, she wants to take down the lights because they're too bright.
Right.
And this lampshade is just drab. I love what they're doing.
Yeah,
with her.
they've figured something out here pretty big. I think they could run with this. Tony Storm is the right kind of crazy for people to really catch on. I like it.
Yeah,
I'm here for it.
I think it was Tony Khan doing press yesterday said like it's the most entertaining thing in the company right now.
Yeah, it's super entertaining. I mean, it's must watch. As soon as it comes on, you're like, wow, like this is cool. Like, what are we doing? It's cool.
She's so great. But yeah, you're right. TBS title Stat versus Britt Baker.
Yes.
This was one of Britt's best matches, I'll say.
Yeah, for sure. This could have went. Britt has been seemingly backsliding lately. A lot of people talking about that all over the place.
Yeah. Yep.
And I think Britt doesn't have that much room to backslide to begin with. Kinda.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But she brought it here, and I thought this was a really good match. But Statlander had probably Jade's best match. The show before, and then has this one. And I'm like, well, maybe the common denominator is just Statlander.
I think so.
Maybe that's what's going on here.
Statlander's very, very good.
Yeah.
But yeah, Statlander ends up beating Britt.
Yep.
It was good.
It was a good match, right?
It was
absolutely
good. Like 2 shows in a row, Statlander crushing the main event.
Yep.
Maybe let's give her something more to be featured on, and
right.
Let's give her storylines here.
Right. I agree.
But yeah, Statlander rocks, and Britt looked good.
Yeah, the women's division is weird. It's a shallow pool of talent to just have her wrestle one-offs every week, because you have what, 2 months worth of talent to do one-offs with, and then you're back to repeating people again.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's get her in a storyline and work it from there. Pick somebody and let's go.
Yeah, let's do some damn storylines.
Right, let's do some tag matches. Let's get some segments. Let's figure this out, because Stat is, arguably, your best women's wrestler, and if she's not, she's top 2 or 3. So
right now, I'd say she's probably the best in-ring wrestler they have right now.
So, yeah.
So that was Collision.
That is all of Saturday Night's Collision.
So let's
how are you feeling about Collision in the post CM Punk era?
Not great.
Okay.
There's a lot I skipped on this show.
Yeah.
There's just a lot that I did not care for.
So,
I don't care about seeing the Hardy Boys.
Right.
I don't care about, I don't know, whatever else that I skipped over. There's a lot, there's a lot of people in AEW I genuinely love.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people in AEW I genuinely do not give a shit about.
Right. So,
there was a lot featured here that I don't give a shit about.
And I know that it's a bit of a special occasion because neither of us were home to watch it live, so we do have the luxury of fast forwarding through it.
Yes.
But, the Hardys were on when Punk was on, right? Were you skipping matches then, or you just...
The Hardys weren't on when Punk was on.
No? The Hardys weren't ever on a Collision?
Nope.
With Punk? Really?
Nope. Yeah, because remember, Matt Hardy was banned from the building, bro.
Was he really? He was one of them that was banned forever?
That was the talk.
Oh, interesting.
Because he's very
shit.
Yeah, he's very anti-Punk.
Oh, okay. Because it's AEW. There was some junk on Collision before when Punk was up there.
Oh, no doubt. But I was also I'd be home watching
it live. Right. This is the special instance because we watched it recorded.
Yeah.
I think they're no better or worse than some Dynamites. I think there's been some down Dynamites and some up Dynamites, just like this Collision has been up and down. But
listen, you put Bryan Danielson on, I'm gonna watch it.
Right, sure.
You put Ozzy Open on, I'm going to watch it.
Yeah.
The stuff with Tony Storm, I'll watch. Andrade and Bullet Club Gold, that getting in the mix, I will definitely watch that.
Right.
Statlander, I will watch. I am not watching the Hardy Boys against the Righteous.
No way. Yeah.
I'm good.
I agree.
I'm all set over here. I value my time.
A lot of Ring of Honor sort of interplay on these last two episodes, but episodes this week, I guess. But speaking of that,
yeah, Tony Khan falling back into old habits, I guess.
Right. Let's get into Dynamite, pal.
Yeah, so Dynamite Grand
Speaking
Slam.
of Ring of Honor crossover.
Arthur Ashe Stadium. This is the Ring of Honor crossover I'll allow.
Mm-hmm.
We're kicking this son of a bitchin' motherfucker off for the ROH, well, really title for title, ROH World title versus the New Japan Openweight title. Eddie Kingston versus Claudio Castagnoli. Eddie Kingston finally getting a world title.
Yes.
He beats Claudio clean as a sheet, middle of the ring. 1, 2, 3.
In Eddie's hometown with his parents watching.
I love how they got their special entrances.
Yes.
I thought that was real cool. This is fucking awesome, man. Getting to see Eddie just being showered in cheers and love in his hometown.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It was so fucking cool. At the end, Claudio shakes his hand, which I thought was awesome, and hands him the belt.
Yep.
So that's kind of the end of that.
Yeah.
But man, Eddie, getting to see Eddie win, man, it was something special.
It was. I really loved it. The match is great. He follows Kawada's instructions and does the power bomb.
It sure does.
So, and obviously this crowd's rocking and rolling for Eddie. It's the outcome we all wanted. It's the outcome we knew was going to happen. He's double champ, sort of a thing that he, Ring of Honor World Championship's his first world championship. A really great moment, great match. Gets that hometown win. And I know that there were circumstances around their last meeting, right? Where Eddie lost to Claudio because Eddie was going in for hernia surgery and all that kind of stuff. And part of me was worried going into this match that Tony Khan was going to do, because with seeing Eddie put his title up, that a safe bet that he was going to win because New Japan's not going to put that title on anybody outside of a New Japan show.
Yeah, unless they were having an agreement with Claudio going to be working shows.
Right. And, have Eddie win it back or something shortly. But, I was a little worried there was going to be like a fuck finish, like involving Mox or something, to then move this to a pay-per-view to, you know, put it on a bigger stage, but it's in New York, so it's the biggest stage for Eddie. What do you do? And I listen, I love this match. It was the great moment. I was near tears the whole time. I screamed when he won, you know, like when Claudio was kicking out, I was going nuts. When Eddie was kicking out, when like Eddie was getting beat up, like he took a pretty good beating and looked pretty worn out. But there's still a part of me that was like, man, this would have felt more special if he had beat Claudio that first time.
I get what you're saying.
Just because the expectation was there for this one. Making this a title versus title, you automatically went, okay, Eddie's winning. So, like, I didn't go into this one questioning anything, really. I know I said, I was like, well, maybe they can do a fuck finish, but I was like, no. They have to here. Hometown, his family's there, all that. Like, this is Eddie's moment. And it's great. And I'm not saying it takes anything away from it. But I was just like, part of me is like, man, like, all of us watching that pay-per-view together, like, you know, getting bummed out when Eddie didn't win, like, that would have been, I think, a little bit more of a special moment than this was. For me, for me as a fan watching it, not for Eddie. Eddie won his first world title in front of his parents in his hometown, in front of a massive crowd, you know, where he was almost working steel, you know. I'm talking me selfishly as a fan.
Well, if it was up to me, my original plan was Eddie beating MJF for the title here.
Right.
For the AEW title, and then Moxley immediately sticking him afterwards.
Right.
That's just me. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I am very happy for Eddie Kingston.
Me too.
I love Eddie Kingston. I did forget to mention during that promo from Collision with Eddie, when he said, I told Renee I'm going to fix this, and me not answering all of your calls, John.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, I feel like there's something there. There could be something there.
I think so.
You know,
maybe.
Oh man. I just, it's just that little, like one little line. It might just be a throwaway line and me looking way too far into it, but it's like, I don't know if you're in Blackpool Combat Club and you hear that and you go, John, what are you doing going behind our backs, trying to call Eddie to fix this? Like, you know?
Yeah. Eddie's very good at leaving that sort of stuff dangling, so there's always something for him to do. This Claudio thing, you know, the mock stuff, the dragon stuff, like all that stuff is really, you know, he leaves that stuff hanging so he can always come back to something, you know?
Yeah. Super happy for Eddie, though.
Right. We got
incredible.
We got Ian Riccaboni on the call, rightfully so, who skipped out of a class.
I saw.
Did you see him and Tony Schiavone thing?
I sure did.
Hilarious. Where Schiavone did a video note to his teacher. So they don't give him demerit.
Yeah.
That Schiavone, what a delightful scamp Tony Schiavone is.
He's a wonderful man.
Just having the time of his life out there. All right, so that's the next thing on this show that I think deserves to be talked about is Roddy Strong.
Dude, I was laughing so hard during this.
When Adam comes in and he's like, where are you? Where are you? He's like, open your eyes. And then when he hits the bed, dude, and it like creaks its way up, it's so funny.
It crushed me.
And he's like, just go, Adam.
The sound it made and how slow it was.
It's like, perfect. Yeah, it's so good.
God. I fucking love Roderick Strong.
Absolutely brilliant segment.
Yeah. And then when they show MJF arriving to the arena with Adam Cole in like the Ferrari.
Yes.
And then, you know, when Roddy calls Adam and Adam's like, no, Roddy, calm down. No, Roddy, you're not going to die. Yeah. Calm down.
Right.
like,
so funny.
It was so perfect. Then he just tells Max, I got to go. There's an emergency, but I'll be there for ringside for you later.
Yeah. Great stuff.
Dude, Roderick Strong is the best.
What a star. What a star. Jericho Sammy stunk out loud.
Not good. I don't. I know we were talking last night in the Discord, and I really don't know what they're trying to do with Sammy. This whole storyline is a fucking mess.
Right. So he wears the Jericho tribute gear. The whole story is about him supposed to finally beat Jericho and move beyond him. And he loses clean.
But it's not, though, because, like, they were going to just be tag partners next week.
Right.
And it's just, oh, my God. It's so dumb.
So they do the exact, to the moment, Jericho-Shawn Michaels thing.
Yeah, from WrestleMania in Seattle. I think it was WrestleMania 19.
I don't know why Sammy loses. And then he turns on Jericho to join Don Callis. And my initial thought was like, this dude just lost to Jericho. Why do you want him on your team? He can't beat him. Like,
yeah, it's just...
You're collecting losers? I don't understand. Like, Takeshita beat Kenny Omega. Great guy to have on your team.
Like, the thing is, it's like, Jericho, like, I don't know. I don't care about Chris Jericho at this point in my life.
I think he has officially outlived his usefulness in AEW. I don't know that there's anything of substance left for him to do anywhere. I don't know that him losing gives anybody a rub. I don't know why him beating Sammy here happened at all. But I don't know that there's really anything left for Jericho to do.
The storyline's off the rails, though.
Right?
Like, all of Jericho Appreciation Society left because Jericho's being a dick and teasing joining with Callis.
Right.
And then Jericho joins Callis, but Callis doesn't really want him. And then Jericho faces Ospreay, loses to Ospreay, blames it on Sammy because he didn't hit Sammy, or Sammy didn't hit Ospreay hard enough with the baseball bat.
Yes.
But then, like, him and Sammy are teasing, breaking up, and insulting each other while doing it. I don't know. Like, what are we doing? It's a fucking mess. It's like,
super weird.
Just get it off my TV at this point. I don't care. Yeah. Listen, I love Don Callis. I think, like, what he's been doing has been great. I love the little backstage thing where Garcia walks up to Sammy, and then Sammy's the one who wants to get in Garcia's face. And Callis is saying, no, that kid's money. Like, no, we leave him alone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I really don't. But I don't know if Chris Jericho's the one doing these storylines, but they make zero sense. And I just don't care.
Yeah, no sense. I don't see the usefulness. Like, even when you get, like, a surprise win, like Action Andretti, what did it do for Action Andretti? It got him, like, a handful of the mid-card matches. Like, it's just nothing. I don't know. We don't need Jericho anymore.
Nope, I'm kind of over it.
So the most sort of intriguing thing of the night happens next.
Yes.
Mox versus Rey Fenix for the international title. A lot of people split on when the thing in this match happens because Mox gets messed up.
So I was under the impression immediately on the dive.
It's that dive.
He got rocked.
Yeah.
He did not look right afterwards.
I think he may have gotten rocked again at the end.
I agree. I think he got rocked again at the end because
but it's the dive.
It's the dive when Phoenix does the dive from the stage to the outside floor by the ring, which amazing camera shot.
Right.
Maybe one of the coolest AEW camera shots they've done, and I would probably put that in your video packages.
For sure. But Mox blasts his head off the ground.
Yeah, Mox got rocked. No,
he definitely did.
And then you could see Mox is kind of shaky. He's kind of loose, know.
Ill-advised or not, he worked his way through it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he got his bell rung.
Yeah,
but you could see he was working his way through it.
Right.
You could see as the match was going on, you're going, okay, he's putting it back together.
Right.
He's okay.
Which, I know AEW has sort of come out with statements about safety, particularly after the Alex Reynolds stuff. What's the common denominator in that? And then when Alex Reynolds got his bell rung and nothing was done about it. And this one we'll talk about in a second. But I probably would have stopped this match as soon as I noticed Mox was wrecked, right? Just do a count out.
Yeah, so maybe just have the ball around the ring.
Yeah, right. Like just get something done because it's not safe for anybody.
No, it's not. And I don't want to play safety police, but anybody with eyes could tell, oh, Mox is rocked.
Right.
Here.
We know how serious concussions are. We know what can happen if wrestlers are unshaky or are shaky on their feet and whatever. And The match recovers a bit, but then Phoenix goes for his pile driver, and when you watch it back, it looks like Mox slides a little forward and gets his head crunched again. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. I don't know. You know, these are professionals, but Mox doesn't kick out.
No.
And you know that Mox wasn't losing this match, right? He doesn't go through the thing he went through with Orange Cassidy for him to lose this belt on a random show in a like 19th match against Ray Phoenix. Like, Mox was going to have a big, long run, fighting everybody, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But so he doesn't kick out. And Rick Knox, I will say arguably the worst referee employed to a major company in the world.
Oh, he's fucking terrible.
And he has the track record. He did the same thing with Alex Reynolds, where Alex Reynolds was clearly out of it. Didn't notice, didn't stop anything. Yep. Mox doesn't kick out, and Knox, like, puts his hand under, like, checking his shoulders. And I'm like, and we talk about this all the time, and maybe it's not everybody's philosophy. I know as much as you do that we don't want any referee to fuck on anybody.
No, sure don't.
But you have to treat, I'm a proponent of treating the 3 count like a shoot.
Sure.
Count the 3, because if you don't, you make the wrestlers look worse, right? And I know that's not the way the finish was supposed to be, but Rick Knox, no matter what the outcome is here, Rick Knox is wrong and fucked up, no matter what. If Mox is hurt and he doesn't count the 3, so then Ray picks Mox back up, gives him the pile driver again.
Yeah, like, why'd you have to do another pile driver? Couldn't you just do, like, a schoolboy or something?
And Mox said something. So maybe he called it. Maybe Phoenix didn't understand, didn't know the gravity.
Mox called the audible, and you could tell when Rick Knox didn't count that 3, Mox looked right at him and said, "Fuck you."
Right.
Like,
so,
you know,
who knows why there was another pile driver, but like, you count that 3 for Mox's safety, for the legitimacy of the match, because it's pro wrestling. Like, but
absolutely.
Let's say that was the finish. So let's say Mox isn't hurt, and that was the way this match was supposed to go. Rick Knox also in the fucking wrong. There's no saving what he did. There's no saving his decision there. He's just shitty at his job.
Yeah, he sucks.
He's like the fucking worst referee. Like, he should only be reffing Young Bucks matches.
Yeah,
and I know why he's there.
I know Aubrey gets her criticisms. I know Bryce gets his criticisms, but like,
and referees,
Rick Knox is bad.
He's not the first referee to ever do that. I get that it's confusing. I know that there's a title involved, so you don't want to, be the guy responsible for calling an audible and switching a title when maybe the company doesn't want it switched, right?
Sure.
But this is a multiple thing in the last 2 years, or last year, of Rick Knox fucking this up.
Yeah, it's not good.
Only there because he's friends with the Bucks. Have him do Bucks matches and that's it. That's what he's there for. Their matches don't matter. Their matches are always a conglomeration of nonsense anyway. So you'll barely notice if he fucks up because nothing matters in the Young Bucks matches. Let him do those big schmozzes, because this is not only pathetic looking, potentially very dangerous for the wrestlers involved. Concussions are nothing to joke around with. And the bigger side of that, beyond him just not counting the 3 and making everyone look like an asshole, is that he is unaware of wrestler health and safety.
Yeah.
By this and by the Alex Reynolds thing, like, everyone in the world knew that Mox was messed up.
Yeah.
Everybody in the world knew that Alex Reynolds was messed up, and Rick Knox is just completely fucking oblivious to it. And if the referee, if you can't pay attention to the things going on inside and outside the ring at every moment, you're doing a bad fucking job as a referee.
Yeah, and Alex Reynolds was worse because Alex Reynolds was stiff-legged, cross-legged, like he was out,
right?
And nobody gave a shit. And I remember when that happened, man. I was so fucking mad.
Right.
This one, like, listen, thankfully from all the reports, Mox is okay.
Right.
They're saying it's like a mild concussion, nothing with his neck or anything. Thank God.
Which is of course the big fear, because when he doesn't kick out, you're like, can he not kick out?
Yeah.
You know. So,
but thankfully he's okay.
Yeah. It's Mox. He's gonna work hurt. Hopefully nothing too bad. Hopefully they forced him. Renee and AEW forced him to get it actually checked out not just rubbing some dirt on it and going on to the next match.
Yeah, take some time, brother.
But,
I know there was like that picture that somebody took outside of Mox's trailer where it was like Renee, Yuta, Claudio, and Tony Khan all standing outside. So, hopefully he's okay. That's the most important thing.
Right. So I think what you do, give him some time off, have Ray set up some fun matches for Ray Phoenix with this belt.
Yeah, have Ray wrestle Claudio, have Ray wrestle Yuta.
And then in a month and a half, whatever you feel is enough time, Phoenix comes out, Abrahantes gets on the fucking microphone and says that there's an open challenge, Ray will wrestle anybody.
Of course.
Right, because that's what they do, right? And then Wild Thing hits. We hadn't seen Mox in a couple of weeks. Yeah. Wild Thing hits, the crowd goes fucking crazy, and he just beats the brakes off of Ray Phoenix. Dude,
I was going to say, he just absolutely destroys Ray Phoenix.
Right, and work that into the program. Like, you messed me up. You got the better of me, but I wasn't expecting it. So I'm gonna
do what you did with the Mox Hangman promo, or if you remember that when that feud, when Mox legit KO'd Hangman,
right? And
then Hangman came back because he wanted to KO Mox to get him back.
Yes.
Do that. I'm fine with that.
Right, and have Mox all the respect in the world. Here's this. Here's here's your guy. He knocked you out. All the respect in the world. You got the better of me. We're fighters. That's what we do. But now I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Even if I mean, this might be a personal thing. Have Mox beat the shit out of Abraham to leave him bloody as hell.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Write that one up. Ray Phoenix or not, have that happen.
Like add that to a story. You know, like let's make it a little bit like push it that level.
Right.
You know?
And if you feel it necessary, you feel like you could fit this in, then maybe because they were pictured with them before he went out for his Ring of Honor title match, maybe you have Mox taking advantage of Ray Phoenix a little bit, and Eddie Kingston comes out with his best friend Penta and says, "Hey, I think that's enough, Mox. What's happened? What's the matter with you? Like, what's your problem?" And you can get a little Mox Eddie program.
Or you could have Eddie get pissed off at Phoenix because he hurt his boy.
Could be.
Let's talk. You want to talk? Let's talk a little bit.
Put 3 belts on Eddie Kingston.
I put every goddamn belt on Eddie Kingston.
All right.
Except right now for the TNT title.
Yeah, right.
Did you win this belt? So next thing I have here is Saraya versus Toni Storm.
I have nothing to say about this match, but I have everything to say about Toni Storm's entrance.
I love you, Toni Storm. You deserve the world. You should have won this match.
Right. The black and white, the like weird, almost like frame rate difference to make it look like a black and white film.
It's so good.
Very Gold Dust Productions, sort of old school, Shattered Dreams.
Yeah,
sort
for
of
sure.
Thing. She's fantastic. But Saraya and her floppy neck, not doing it for me.
Old noodle neck Saraya.
But
who wins?
Yep.
And at the end, I was thinking, okay, is Mercedes Moné going to come out here? But she didn't.
No,
so.
Nothing happens.
No. And then main event, MJF versus Samoa Joe.
Yes, for the AEW World Title.
MJF with the old Bret Hart entrance, like
hilarious,
was incredible.
Yeah, right, hilarious.
The kid yelling Max and whispered in his ear, and the kid just looking at the dad saying, "Dad, I'm adopted." Right,
amazing,
was so good.
It was really funny for sure.
I thought the match was really good.
Yeah, so that was the big thing. Like, I'm not shy about how I feel about Max. I think the stuff he's been doing has been the best stuff he's been doing, but goes a little long on his live promos.
Sure.
But this guy, since, right before winning the title and since he's won the title, has like taken it to like some of the best wrestlers in the world.
Yeah, no doubt.
So you can't doubt his ability. I mean, he had a great match with Dragon. He has this really good match here with Joe.
Yeah.
Like, his match with Adam Cole is very good. Like, he can wrestle.
Matches with match he had with Takeshita was really good.
Right, he can go.
Yeah.
So you can't bash his wrestling ability.
No. I thought that this was a lot of fun. This is where Adam Cole finally shows up because he's done helping Roddy.
Yep.
And when Adam Cole jumps from the ramp down by the ring, he fell, and I'm going, okay. And then he gets up to walk, and he is limping real bad.
He could barely put weight on that ankle. What a boneheaded thing to do.
Well, that was the death spot last time. Was people jumping off that ramp to the outside of the floor.
Right.
That's right where Mox got hurt. Yeah. And then there's Adam Cole getting hurt.
Yep. And he's apparently on crutches. He went to the hospital. Mox didn't, which is insane.
Mox is a fucking god.
Yeah. So Cole's there and he's hurt and he gets in the ring. You can tell he's hurt. So who knows how bad it is. Hopefully not too bad because that throws a wrench into almost everything.
Yeah. I love the finish. MJF was choking Joe with like the wire. Puts like the chokehold, which is just the old CM Punk finish when he was feuding with him.
Right.
Chokes him out. As he said, he was going to choke Joe out.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end, when he's celebrating, he pulls the referee into him, and Adam Cole goes and scurries and cleans the wire up and shoves it into his pocket.
Yeah.
So good ending,
Mm-hmm. I didn't love that commentary put Max over for that. Like Excalibur was like giddy that he won that way.
It's pro wrestling. They put over the baby face.
Yeah, I guess it's more of just a problem with like Max is a baby face, but we know he's not a baby face. We know that he's exploiting the good nature of some people. But
that's been wrestling forever, though.
Right. But when he wins, Excalibur's like, I can't believe he did it. And it's like, well, but he cheated. He could still be dastardly. And, whatever. It just didn't sit with me right. Like, I like the Adam Cole stuff because they're best friends. But, like, commentary putting over a cheat win in the main event for your babyface is just weird to me. I didn't quite love it. But the match was very good. And I guess we'll see. For Wrestle Dream, there's a match set up this week for Cole and MJF.
Yeah, we'll see when they show it on TV, yes, I guess.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, that's all I had in America.
That is the end of America. That means we're going on a trip.
We sure are.
Short trip, I think, this week, though.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We'll be right back. Somewhere else. Hey, look at us. We're in Japan.
We sure are.
We made it. We did it. We're here.
So I only have 2 matches total.
Okay. Let's save the Noah one for last.
Yeah.
That's the important one.
Mm-hmm.
I'll lead in with DDT because you didn't watch this, nor should you have. No. DDT for the All Asia Tag Team titles. It is Jun Akiyama and Kotaro Suzuki versus Atsushi Onita and Yoshitatsu, who are the champions.
What are you doing?
In a current blast bat and board death match. It goes 8 minutes. There is a title change. Jun Akiyama and Suzuki, the team of Burning, are the All Asia Tag Team title holders now. Onita can barely fucking move.
Right? He could barely move a couple years ago when we saw him.
So, it's the bat that explodes, and there's boards that are supposed to explode. They're all connected to wires. Onita gets dumped onto a barbed wire board twice, and it never explodes. But the barbed wire bats work. So there's a point in this match where Onita has Suzuki in an abdominal stretch, and Yoshitatsu is like signaling Onita to get out of the way because he's going to hit him with the exploding bat. But Onita refuses to move, so Yoshitatsu just swings the bat anyway, and they both explode. It sounded like a gunshot. And then the finish, Akiyama hits an exploder, and then Yoshitatsu standing in the middle of the ring, and Akiyama and Suzuki both have the exploding bats, and they one side and the other side, front and back, hit him with the bat at the same time, giant explosion, and they win. It goes about 8 minutes, and it was not really that entertaining outside of the explosions. I like explosions.
I do too. God bless you for that, watching that.
Yep, it was only 8 minutes. Stardom had 2 Grand Prix shows this week. no commentary at all.
Nope.
Weird little house show things. I watched a bunch of matches. Not a bunch. I watched 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 matches total. But there's not a ton to talk about. So what did you watch? And we'll hit that.
The only one I watched was from night 16 was Micah versus Azumi.
Oh, okay. I didn't watch that one.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, it's the only one I watched. Dude, it was like sub 9 minutes, and it was the main event on the show.
Okay.
Which I fucking love that.
Yeah.
Micah won with a Michinoku driver, and I thought it was sick.
Okay.
And Azumi wrestles like hyperspeed, which I love. So Micah rocks. Micah, part of DDM. Big fan.
I watched Hazuki versus Natsupoi.
Okay.
From that night. So in the main event, did the ring sound like it was like tin? The ring was very loud on this show. It was like
I didn't really notice.
It was like an odd sound when I watched. It was very everything sounded grosser. It was a solid mean match. And the promo afterwards had subtitles.
Yeah, because these get uploaded to Stardom World.
Yeah. Right.
So they do the subtitles for the promos.
Right, but it was in Fukuoka, which is Suzuki's hometown. She gets the win, and she said she's going to come back to her hometown as 5-star Grand Prix champion.
Okay.
The next night, I watched 1, 2, 3, 4 matches. Let's see. Is there anything worth talking about? I watched the high-speed title 5-way match, which was just chaos and nonsense. At one point, Saki Kashima, the high-speed champion, leaves the arena. She doesn't want to be in it anymore. I watched Momo Watanabe versus Hanan. The most
I almost watched that.
The most interesting thing about this match is that Momo has a Balzac patch on her entrance jacket.
I mean, that fucking rules.
The one thing I liked about these shows that they do is they after the match they'll put up the little title card for the person who won, and they'll show their name and what move they used to win. I thought that was a nice little thing.
Yeah, dude, Balzac rules.
Balzac does rule.
Fuck yeah.
I watched Mirai versus Maria May. This match was probably my favorite of the Stardom matches I watched. I think if this was on American TV, like, people would freak out. This was a very solidly wrestled women's match. Okay. I'm not saying it's like 5 stars, but it was just a solid wrestling match. And Maria May, big, tall, blonde lady, apparently getting some looks from American companies. Like, you could put this on any women's division on TV here, and people would be like, what a great match that was. On the way out, there's a guy who has a Mirai gimmick towel that he's, like, waving at her, and she takes it and dries her face off with it and gives it back to him, and I was like, oh, that dude's putting that up on Japanese eBay.
Or he's going home to do a CUM into it.
Cool. And the main event was Suzu Suzuki versus Ami Sarai. This was good. I like Suzu Suzuki. It goes almost 12 minutes. It was good, but it looked like at one point Ami was getting a comeback. And then Suzu Suzuki just kicked her in the face, and that was the end of that. So,
all right.
Yeah.
I like Suzu Suzuki.
Me too. I like her a lot. That's why I wanted to watch that match. Nothing great, nothing like, oh my god, you have to watch Stardom this week. They're weird shows. There's no commentary. They're shot at weird angles. And sometimes it feels like the camera's pointed directly into a light.
Yeah, I noticed that.
But they were there, so I wanted to watch them. But the thing, the sort of the talked about thing of this week in Japan, a dream match, honestly.
Absolutely.
From Naomichi Marufuji's 25th anniversary show, Will Ospreay in a Noah ring for the first time versus a man he considers, I guess, his idol. And even in the video package beforehand says that 70% of his offense is just stolen from Marufuji.
Yeah.
We get Will Ospreay versus Marufuji in what I felt was really a fantastic wrestling match.
So I'll tell you what, man. I was kind of curious with Ospreay being like, I love Marufuji, and that was like Noah was on TV in the UK.
Oh.
So they saw Noah more than they saw like New Japan and All Japan.
Okay. Interesting.
So I looked into that a little bit and I said, oh, that makes sense then.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, this is Marufuji, like you said, the 25th anniversary show.
And he's only 43. Like,
Yeah.
Marufuji's not an old guy. Like, he still has a lot left in him, I think. I hope.
Yeah. I think he does too. Dude, this match fucking ruled.
It was awesome.
Ospreay and Marufuji trading chops was so brutal.
Yep. Oh, everything. Because like they definitely made it a point to show all the things that Ospreay stole. Because then Marufuji just went and did it back. The hook kick and, all that sort of stuff. That stuff was all really fun.
Yeah, I thought, Ospreay winning, obviously that's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
What an insane run for Ospreay.
Yeah, crazy, right? But makes me think and believe that he's not going to be over there for very much longer. I think he's getting this stuff out of the way so that he can sign with a company over here.
Yeah, I think he will be in AEW.
I think so too. I think he'll come over here and potentially be some big time star power,
Do you think he's going to win a world title over here?
I think if he comes to AEW, you have to, right?
I agree. Yeah, I think he will win the world title.
Yeah.
And I think it will be within the first year of him being there.
I think it explains a lot. I think it explains sort of them giving him a win over Okada, but in sort of a non-flashy way, just so that he can have that win. And then he's sort of wrestling some dream matches. And, who knows, maybe he'll probably float back and forth. And we'll probably get some more Japanese matches out of him in New Japan and stuff. But I think he's working his way over here. I think he wants that schedule and that money. And I think he has the potential to take over, wherever he ends up. I think, he's a worldwide name at this point. So
yeah, he really is, man. I love watching his stuff.
Yeah.
I thought he was so good in this match with Marufuji.
Yeah.
I love him afterwards. And dude, that's another thing that's like a very impressive thing with him. He's like Omega, where he could switch back and forth between English and Japanese in a promo.
Yeah.
Like it's nothing,
Yep.
So there's that extra connection with the Japanese audience.
For sure.
Where, oh, hey, he took the time to learn the language.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I love this match.
Right. I love the Shiranu on the apron.
Yes.
The one point in this match I got hot because Ospreay hits a Tiger Driver and winks. He does a little like cocky wink and then hits a Tiger Driver, and I was like, "Not Noah, you son of a bitch!"
Oh.
And Marufuji kicks out at 1.
That rules.
I was like, "Yep,
all right, that rules."
Absolutely. And then when Marufuji kicks out of a hidden blade that I felt was laid all the way in, I cheered. I was like, "Yes!" Like I was so happy. But then he immediately falls to the Stormbreaker. It was just really great. I liked the video package beforehand.
I did too.
I like that it was, even though like Ospreay was beating him up in the match, it still felt like very respectful in a way.
Yeah, it wasn't Ospreay being cocky at all.
So yeah, I think this match was fantastic and well worth seeking out and finding. I think this is one of the better matches this year. And I hope it leads to Marufuji doing more stuff. I don't know if he's been hurt, but he's been kind of quiet in Noah a bit. Like he wasn't in the N1, right?
No. Well, I mean, maybe he'll face Riddick Moss for the GHC World Heavyweight title.
It's possible. And you see, 43, he's been wrestling 25 years. He's one of the last guys to actually be trained by Baba and share a ring with him, and they showed footage of that.
I loved when they showed the footage.
Yeah, him jumping off Baba's shoulders.
That was so cool, man.
But sort of, yes and no, technically Baba's last student, but technically not because Baba was not in great health at that point. But yeah, so he has those connections and sort of is a straight up legend, who, is a star and is incredibly influential. And Ospreay's not the first guy to steal from him whole cloth. But it was a little harder to find his stuff in the early tape trading days, or not even the early days, but like the 2000s with Noah. Like people were looking for Kobashi and Misawa. They weren't necessarily watching the juniors division. So
Yeah, even though they should have been, because Marufuji and Kenta had some burners.
Absolutely. And I want to see more of Marufuji because he's still great. But 25 years is a long time to be a wrestler.
It's a long fucking time, brother.
So,
yeah, I loved it. I thought it was a fantastic match.
Yep. But that's it, right?
That's all that I have. What was your favorite match of the week? For domestic and then for international?
International, hands down, no question to ask, is Marufuji Ospreay.
Yep, same.
And for domestic, while there was some good wrestling, I liked a lot of stuff on LVAC. But, you know, our boy won the world title, finally got everything that was coming to him, that he deserves in his hometown. Just for the match was great, the pure emotion of it. Claudio versus Eddie Kingston. Claudio versus your new Ring of Honor world champion, Eddie Kingston.
Yep, same on both ends here.
That's what it is. We've been waiting so long, you know, the build was there. You did risk sort of getting that moment back that you could have had at that Ring of Honor show, but doing it in Arthur Ashe in front of that crowd, hearing that crowd chant Eddie's name to start out, like they were so into Eddie. You know, it was a really great moment, and I hope he has a long run with this title, and I hope when he's done with this one, he gets the AEW one because he deserves it.
God damn, he fucking does, man.
He does. He absolutely does.
Oh, he really does.
Yeah.
Did you buy anything this week?
Well, I got the little Max guy.
Same.
And the little guy, I guess wrestling buddy, right?
Yeah.
The Wheeler meet and greet.
Same.
And the weekly pro wrestling Terry Funk dedicated memorial issue is on its way. So
same.
I think that's it.
Yep. So look at that. We bought the same shit.
There you go.
Yep.
So
nice. Good.
Yeah.
Well,
good.
I'm glad we all bought the same shit. That's good.
Right. That's
Nothing.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah. That's all I bought.
Cool.
So I don't know. You have anything else, or are you ready to wrap it up?
Dude, I got nothing else.
Same, man.
It was a good week of wrestling.
Yeah, it was fun.
I have almost no idea don't know what's coming up. For anything, really anywhere. I'm trying to only look really quick. More New Japan, like Road to Destruction stuff.
Yeah, I wonder. I don't know when that's done.
Well, you know, maybe I'll watch Honor Club. Let's see. The 11th.
I'll peruse.
Yeah. Road to Destruction 11th day is on the 22nd. So it's tomorrow.
So September 24th is Destruction in Kobe.
Okay. So we'll have that.
So that's Tsuji versus Ospreay.
Okay. Yeah. So we'll have that. Yoda's saying that he wants to win that belt and turn it back into the Intercontinental title.
Sign me up, brother.
Right. I mean, I think that, you know, that's an interesting way to go.
Yeah,
if Ospreay is in fact leaving, I think that's cool. And then if Ospreay's leaving, you don't have a ton of gaijin, so you don't need any outside titles. Just make that the Intercontinental title again.
Yeah, I would love that, but I wonder if they want that title on the line at Wrestle Kingdom when he eventually wrestles Omega again.
Yeah, that's true.
If that happens.
Yeah, that's true. GCW versus the World, Ring of Honor, the Rev Pro, Fantastic CMLL show.
We'll see. We'll see as the week goes on.
Destruction. Yeah, all right. We'll see. Doesn't look like there's going to be a ton. So we'll see.
Some weeks there's not a ton.
Some weeks there's not. But that's it.
Some weeks there's an overload.
That's true. That's it. We're done. I'm out of here. It's good talking to you, pal.
Yeah, you too.
Over Skype.
Ooh.
But yeah.
Feel better, Michelle.
Yes. So you can find us online at We Need Wrestling. On social media, WeNeedWrestling.com. You can email the show at WeNeedWrestling@gmail.com. We're a proud member of the soon-to-be-named network at STBN Network. On social media, on Twitter for the time being, I guess. I'll tell you right now, I ain't paying for that shit. We've got Blue Sky and Instagram, I guess. And Hive and Spoutable and whatever else is happening. Tout. Proud member of Soon to Be Named Network, at soon-to-be-named-network.com, soon-to-be-named-network.tumblr.com, all the shows, everything you could ever possibly want to listen to. Final Wrestling Place is doing lists. You love them?
Oh, I love it.
At Odds with Wrestling. I'm sure Adam's going to brag about his football, about the fantasy football there. So good listen to At Odds with Wrestling. Our other show, Wings on Wings. Profane Argument, Puzzle Warriors 3, Longbox Heroes After Dark. I've been told that there's a rumor that No Chance in Helmet's coming back, but who knows?
We'll see.
But that sounds like you know something that I don't know.
Doesn't at all.
But I think that's it. That's everybody. I hope if I missed Hayabusa, our review of Hayabusa will be next week. As it'll be joined by our review of Heat Up, also happening next week. We just ran out of time this week. It's just we're running a little too long. So sorry, Ed.
Listen, my dear sweet Ed said he has a new episode in the holster, so I'm ready.
We'll see what happens, and we'll review that one when it comes out. Yeah, that's it, pal. Let's get out of here, and we'll talk to you next week.
We will. Bye.
You're listening to the soon-to-be-named network, the Lamborghini of podcast networks.
Knock it off, nerds!